cannons having to be planted. Now let's see if David Kim can actually get some Scourge. He does have some Scourge nearby, but needs to gather them up, just pick off one of these Corsairs, and then those Dragoons going to be somewhat ineffective. But here's the key here is Jaeyun can just continue to cycle to each location. Those Dragoons have to basically play the runaround game and keep up with them. Scourge running up, almost able to take a Corsair out. They don't have any cannons to support. They do have the Dragoons right there, and it looks like one of the Corsairs does get taken out, another one gets hit, and pretty big Mutalisk Dragoon Corsair battle. Other critical thing right here is while David Kim's doing all this harassment and just producing a minimum amount of troops and kind of moving around here across the main, across that natural secondary, it looks like he wanted to pick off, he's going to be able to get, looks like a pylon here that isn't actually going to do any significant damage here. Might be able to get the Corsairs because they, again, moved ahead of the Dragoons. One Mutalisk gets taken out, one Corsair taken down, and again, it's more important for those Corsairs to stay alive than these Mules to stay alive, but it looks like he did get two, so that's a pretty fair trade. But otherwise, it looks like Jaeyun able to switch back to get that Hydralisk Den, and he's going to start saturating that natural secondary, get a couple additional hatcheries up. So he's still playing this game pretty well. I got to say though, Darren on a disadvantaged map is really playing this well. Looks like he's finally got another Corsair out in open field. He's got things pretty well locked, and it looks like he's transitioning to Corsair Reaver here for the long game, which I really feel is a necessity actually on this map, Outsider, because you've got so much movement you need to do. And again, he needs to be very careful. Doesn't lose another Mule. He needs to be very careful about conserving these Corsair and not getting too aggressive with them, because he needs them to defend all of these exterior expansions. And it looks like David Kim actually thinking about moving in for a fairly good sized attack. It looks like the Corsair actually moving out in the field, which might be a mistake. Let's see if Jaeyun decides to get aggressive or decides to play defensive once he see these Corsairs over in the open field, because again, if he cycles out towards that main, either he's got to put more cannons down now at that main, at that natural secondary, now that these Corsairs are kind of out in the field, or he needs to have a better spread of Dragoons kind of around that field. And it looks like David Kim is going to start cycling around. He's going to start heading to the main. I think he's going to get a decent amount of probe kills off that. Hydralisk near that natural secondary going to drive the rest of those Corsairs out. But looks like instead he's going to just pick off a couple probes of that natural. And I think, again, if you went... No, never mind. 2 Corsairs actually have been produced at the secondary, and we're seeing a second Stargate to try to supplement this. So nice play there. I thought the Corsairs were a little bit more delayed than that, because we were going to see some Reaver production in there, but very intelligently, instead of producing Reavers as rapidly as he probably wanted to, going for a larger Corsair force first. And now a decent amount of Hydralisks out. This is the key though, is basically map harass. Is right now these Mutalisks are going to have to be Johnny on the spot. Another expansion coming up here to the north, they're going to have to be Johnny on the spot, taking out shuttles right here. This expansion is going to get knocked down, and otherwise critically needs to keep this Corsair force large. But beyond that, it looks like Jaeyun is just going to start expanding all over the map. He's got drones in position. A little bit confused drone here at the 3 o'clock otherwise, but yeah, just needs to get a decent sized expansion going up, and then just kind of be in position to deal with these Reavers. Unfortunately, he wasn't in position here at the 6 o'clock location. Looks like he already lost 2 drones here. Might lose this Hydralisk Den with his positioning, and yeah, going to lose the Hydralisk Den. Pretty big loss, and probably going to lose that hatchery as well. So it looks like Darren's actually going to take a pretty quick win. Weapons 1 is upgraded on those Corsairs, so they're not able to get a lot accomplished, and there's not enough Hydralisks to get anything done for Jaeyun here on the front door. He doesn't have the speed upgrade for these Hydralisks, so he's going to have a really hard time dodging these Reavers. So definitely going to lose the 6 o'clock. It looks like he's playing a little bit off balance now. In the meantime, Darren's actually taking control of this game. He's going to be able to take that lower expansion. It looks like Jaeyun, even though I felt like he had a lot of opportunities to do this, Darren is actually putting up a very nice defense. Some reason backing off, even with all those Corsairs. It looks like he wants to load up and come back and forth, and let's see if we can get some Scourge out to try to start pressuring the 6 o'clock location. A little bit too late there. There goes that hatchery. Still a drone here near that double gas, but it's going to be a while, it looks like, before that's going to be able to cap. And right now, Darren in an excellent position. I think he's ahead economically. He's got a larger attack force. He's got basically everything he wants out there. The speed shuttles, well, I think, yeah, let's see if he has speed or not. He does have speed. The speed shuttles, the Corsairs with weapons 1, Mutalisks getting knocked out of the air, and a Hydralisk force that's not very mobile and able to deal with anything out in the field. So interestingly enough, looks like the 12 o'clock location has, well, here the 1 o'clock has been, well, what is this? The 11 o'clock? 11 o'clock is getting mined out. Looks like it's going to immediately be replenished, but in the meantime, still 3 base play, just now taking the 4 base. Darren at a very nice economic lead here, and a single drone getting killed, just doing what damage it can here to the north, and the Hydralisk force finally starting to move out. No upgrades critically though, and it just doesn't seem like there's enough of them to really play the map control, and it looks like these Corsairs are just going to be able to, huge Corsair force, just going to be able to run rampant. As long as they don't get engaged in any critical spot, they're going to be in a great position. I think Jaeyun's best option actually is to kind of get some overlords and almost play like a Terran, play some defensive drops. Right now he's just getting starved out, playing at 2 bases now essentially against 4, and the longer this continues, the more he's going to end up behind, especially against this roving Corsair Reaver play. So it looks like honestly at this stage, a couple Corsairs dodging some Scourge, they actually could probably take those Scourge heads up with that weapons 1 upgrade in their numbers right now. But looks like some overlords are moving up for a drop here at the 12 o'clock. There's not a lot to defend here, and those this is critical though, because keep in mind, even if those I don't think we're going to see any defensive matrix. There's the fleet beacon now. Yeah, D-Matrix is nowhere up to stop these Hydralisks. Might be able to kill a couple of Overlords, but need to be careful that they don't get wiped out, because again, honestly, I think they should let this attack go, because losing those Corsairs is more important, or keeping those Corsair lives is more important than trying to keep this expansion alive, and he's not going to be able to do really either in this engagement. Yeah, you're going to get a couple of Overlords here and there. Finally, be able to get a little bit of delay to get some troops up here, but he's still going to lose this Nexus. I think David Kim should actually get his Overlords out now. No, focus the Nexus, focus the Nexus! It looks like the Nexus is actually going to live here because of a lack of last-second focus fire, instead going after Dragoons. So lives with just 95 health, another huge win. And it looks like the Hydralisk just dropping out the other side. A couple Corsairs got taken out, and actually a really big win altogether for Darren right there. Manages to maintain that expansion. Still, just looks like it's 3-base play, and finally the 6 o'clock, not even saturated, just has a couple Hydralisks there otherwise. Big roving Corsair force, still out in the field. He's still got that level 1 weapons upgrade, and he's going to have D-Matrix in not too long. Looks like he's adding a 3rd Stargate to just control the air, and that's so important on Outsider. Yeah, things really going well, and he looks like he's going to have the gas to really maintain that on top of everything else. So looks like the Corsair force just chilling over that natural secondary, waiting for that shuttle to come alongside to get a drop right here. Another drop loading up. Looks like some Hydralisks are going to get to that other edge, but honestly, with that D-Matrix and 4 Reavers, it's going to be really hard to defend against this. You have to be in position, really gets a couple hits off, but yeah, I don't think this is going to last very long. And still that drone just chilling at the 6 o'clock. So more units loading up, and right now David Kim in a lot of trouble, specifically because he just doesn't have the economy to keep up. Loading up his units a little bit at the wrong time. The Reavers are going to be able to drop in. He's got all of his army at the wrong stage, losing Hydralisks as they're lifted in. He's going to lose this 6 o'clock expansion once again, and I gotta say Darren's got this match. He's just really outmaneuvered David Kim altogether. Did a really good job early actually with the harassment, and David Kim just looks like he overcommitted a little bit here and there, and David Kim really, when he had the big opportunity to harass all the outlying expansions, I just didn't think he did it as well as he should have, and as a result it looks like Darren is probably going to take this match. He's just got too large a Corsair force. David Kim's too small an economy, and otherwise, yeah, you can see the double gas just starting to operate. You got 3 Stargates, level 2 weapons coming online and not too long, and just a big Reaver Corsair force, everything he needs to kind of just barrel in and win this game. It doesn't look like David Kim really has anything to defend this. It looks like a couple of Hydralisks there able to do something, and there's a couple of Hydralisks coming here to the 6 o'clock to do some harassment there, but this 3 o'clock, that's not enough to really defend it. And the Reaver can shoot through here, which is a little bit almost imba, because basically they can go from the corner, and also with the defense matrix, yeah, not going to be able to get a lot accomplished. That's what I think is retarded, that right there, that they can shoot around the corner, but you can't like move through it. So it looks like he's going to end up losing this 3 o'clock as well. So early loss here, it looks like, for UCSD. Set behind. I hear that it's the curse, the UCI curse, when you interesting, building a Nexus kind of right there instead of after grabbing that double gas. Still some Hydralisks there doing a little bit of damage, but and a couple Scourges kind of wandering out in the field. But I think that's basically it. I don't think David Kim has a lot left that he can do. His natural expansion, wow, even his main not very saturated. His natural expansion looking decently saturated, not too terrible. And it looks like those Corsairs and those Reavers going to come up to try to clean up something at the 12 o'clock. Looks like a couple Hydralisks able to do a little bit of economic harassment, but it really doesn't make a difference. It's basically been 3 bases that have been pretty heavily saturated versus 2 which haven't been very well saturated for the entirety of this match. So yeah, just these 4 Hydralisks going to get taken out just momentarily probably.